I can't live a lie. I want to embrace the new life I've found, with Nathan, and if you cannot accept that, then perhaps we must go our separate ways. Derek's heart pounded with betrayal and heartbreak. You're asking me to let go of everything we built, he demanded, his voice raw with pain. I trusted you with my heart, and now you're saying I have no place in your new world. Welcome to DCM Reddit, where stories of cheating wives are exposed. Let me know what time it is and where you are in the world. Subscribe to the channel and like the video. Now let's follow the story. Derek Lawson, a 45-year-old visionary architect turned CEO, had long believed his life was built on solid foundations. In the upscale suburb of Silverfield, his company, Lawson Structural Innovations, was renowned for pioneering earthquake-resistant designs that transformed skylines. At home, Derek shared what appeared to be an ideal marriage with his wife, Marissa Lawson, a 42-year-old creative director with a magnetic charm, and their 19-year-old daughter, Celia, a bright, ambitious college junior with dreams of her own. Every morning, the Lawson family gathered for a hearty breakfast in their sunlit dining room, their conversations filled with hope, laughter, and plans for the future. Derek took immense pride in the life he had built, a perfect blend of personal and professional success. Yet beneath the glossy surface of their polished existence, Derek began to notice subtle cracks. Marissa's warm smile sometimes faltered, her eyes, once sparkling with affection, now held moments of distant sorrow. Even Celia's vibrant chatter, echoing around the house, seemed tinged with an unspoken tension. As Derek reviewed architectural blueprints in his spacious home office lined with awards, he couldn't shake the unsettling feeling that the trust he'd painstakingly built was beginning to erode. Late one crisp autumn evening, Marissa announced that her design agency would host a celebratory gala for a high-profile client. Though Derek preferred the quiet comfort of home, he agreed to accompany her, eager to support his wife. At the elegant venue, a grand hall illuminated by shimmering chandeliers and filled with the hum of refined conversation, Marissa was breathtaking in a deep violet gown that accentuated her graceful figure. As she mingled with colleagues, Derek's attention was drawn to a particular man, Nathan Cole, a charming senior account executive with an easy smile and a reputation for suave professionalism. Throughout the evening, Marissa's glances repeatedly drifted toward Nathan, and each time, Derek's heart tightened with a mixture of confusion and dread. When Marissa briefly brushed her hand against his as if to reassure him, Derek forced himself to smile, clinging to the hope that his mind was playing tricks. Yet the subtle shifts in her demeanor, the hesitations in her laughter, the furtive texts on her phone, began to weigh heavily on his thoughts as they drove home beneath a starlit sky. In the silence of their car, while Marissa spoke cheerily about the gala's success, Derek's mind churned with questions he dared not voice. Over the following weeks, the once bright atmosphere in the Lawson home grew noticeably cooler. Marissa increasingly retreated into long hours on her phone and secretive meetings, while Celia's previously exuberant energy waned into quiet distraction. Derek's instincts, honed over years of meticulous design work, warned him that something was gravely amiss. Unable to ignore the mounting doubts any longer, Derek discreetly hired a private investigator, a decision that tore at his soul. Soon, the PI compiled a damning dossier, photographs of Marissa in intimate settings with Nathan Cole at after-hours dinners, whispered conversations captured on audio, and financial records showing unexplained expenditures on luxurious outings. Each new piece of evidence felt like a jagged shard piercing Derek's heart, shattering the illusion of trust he had so carefully maintained. One rainy night, as thunder rumbled in the distance and Derek sat alone in his modern study surrounded by blueprints and awards, he finally allowed himself to confront the truth. The evidence was irrefutable. Marissa was not only unfaithful, but she was also entangled in a secret that reached into his own company, a covert attempt by Nathan Cole to siphon off proprietary designs from Lawson Structural Innovations. The betrayal was not merely personal, it threatened the very legacy Derek had built. Determined to face the devastation head-on, Derek arranged for a quiet confrontation at home. In the dim glow of their private library, with rain tapping softly on the windows, he found Marissa seated on the sofa. His voice, though measured, trembled with the weight of his discovery. "Marissa, we need to talk," Derek began, his eyes searching hers for any hint of remorse. "I know about Nathan, about everything." For a long, agonizing moment, Marissa's eyes flickered with shock before hardening into an expression of sorrowful resignation. "Derek, I never intended to hurt you," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "What began as a harmless friendship grew into something I couldn't control. I'm sorry." "Sorry?" Derek's voice cracked. "We built our lives on trust, on shared dreams. And now you tell me it was just a mistake." The words fell heavy in the silence that followed, each one echoing with the loss of years filled with hope. Marissa's silence confirmed what Derek feared most: the foundation of their union had been irreparably damaged. Tears welled in her eyes as she added, "I feel divided, Derek. I wanted freedom, something more than what we had." The confession was like a final nail in a collapsing coffin, and Derek realized that the man he once knew was now a stranger. In the days that followed, the atmosphere in the Lawson household grew unbearably tense. Marissa's once comforting presence now exuded a cold determination. One stormy night, as wind howled and rain lashed against the windows, she delivered an ultimatum in a voice both firm and sorrowful. "Derek," she declared, "I can't live a lie. I want to embrace the new life I've found, with Nathan, and if you cannot accept that, then perhaps we must go our separate ways." Derek's heart pounded with betrayal and heartbreak. "You're asking me to let go of everything we built," he demanded, his voice raw with pain. "I trusted you with my heart, and now you're saying I have no place in your new world." Marissa's eyes, filled with a mix of defiance and regret, met his. "I deserve to be free, Derek. I can't keep sacrificing my happiness for a role that no longer fits me." In that moment, the unthinkable became clear: their marriage, once a symbol of unity, was now a battleground where the price of freedom was measured in shattered dreams and broken promises. The days that followed the ultimatum were a blur of anguish and anger. Derek, feeling the weight of betrayal, immersed himself in his work. Late nights in his studio, surrounded by sketches of groundbreaking bridge designs and accolades from his illustrious career, became his only refuge. But even as he poured his pain into every line and curve of his new project, the specter of Marissa's betrayal loomed large. Marissa, on the other hand, sought solace in the allure of newfound freedom. She began attending exclusive social events and forming connections with influential figures, including Nathan Cole, whose charm and ambition promised a life far removed from the suffocating constraints of her former marriage. Though these new experiences thrilled her, each encounter left a lingering bitterness that she couldn't quite shake, a reminder that the cost of her liberation was the unraveling of the family she once vowed to protect. Their daughter, Celia, caught in the crossfire of a crumbling home, retreated into herself. Once vibrant and optimistic, she now navigated her days with a quiet intensity, her eyes reflecting the confusion and pain of watching her parents drift apart. Unable to bear the constant discord, Derek made the heart-wrenching decision to file for divorce. It wasn't a decision born solely of anger but one that acknowledged that their once perfect union was irreparably broken. With each legal document signed, Derek felt both a pang of regret and a surge of determination to rebuild a life that honored his principles and his legacy. As divorce proceedings began, the struggle extended far beyond personal heartbreak. Derek's company, Lawson Structural Innovations, was now under threat from within. The confidential designs he had nurtured for years were at risk of being siphoned off by Nathan Cole and his network of corporate collaborators. Determined to safeguard his professional legacy, Derek enlisted the help of a formidable legal team and an internal auditor to trace every unauthorized access to his proprietary files. In tense board meetings and legal hearings, Derek's testimony was both meticulous and impassioned. He recounted the evidence, a series of incriminating emails, security camera footage, and financial irregularities, that linked Marissa and Nathan to an elaborate scheme to steal his revolutionary bridge design. The courtroom became a battleground where personal betrayal merged with corporate espionage, and every piece of evidence chipped away at the veneer of respectability that had once defined his company. Marissa, pressured by mounting legal and professional consequences, tried to justify her actions as a quest for independence. But the cold, hard facts could not be denied. In one fateful session, federal agents stormed the boardroom, arresting Nathan Cole and several accomplices on charges of corporate fraud. The scandal rocked the industry, and Derek's painstaking reputation was both vindicated and scarred by the fallout. Outside the courtroom, the emotional toll of betrayal was immense. Derek found himself oscillating between anger and numbness. In the solitude of his private study, surrounded by the blueprints of his greatest achievements, he allowed himself to mourn not only the loss of his marriage but the erosion of the trust that had defined his life. Meanwhile, Marissa's world crumbled around her. The once vibrant woman who had embraced her newfound freedom now faced public humiliation and the ruin of her professional reputation. Isolated from friends and estranged from her family, she retreated into a cycle of regret and denial. The whispers of scandal in Silverfield were relentless, and every public appearance became a reminder of the choices she had made. Celia, caught in the midst of this personal and public catastrophe, struggled to hold on to her own identity. Her once hopeful dreams were overshadowed by the uncertainty of her fractured family. Despite the chaos, she clung to the belief that time might heal the deepest wounds, even if it could never fully restore what had been lost. Derek, recognizing that the battle for his legacy was far from over, threw himself into work. He initiated a comprehensive overhaul of company security protocols, invested in cutting-edge technology, and personally oversaw the launch of a new, improved bridge design that would not only set a new industry standard but also serve as a monument to resilience. Months passed in a haze of legal battles, public scrutiny, and relentless work. Slowly, the corporate scandal began to subside as federal investigations wrapped up and public opinion shifted in Derek's favor. His innovative new bridge design, a symbol of strength and renewal, garnered accolades from industry experts and re-established Lawson's structural innovations as a leader in sustainable engineering. In the midst of this professional renaissance, Derek found himself at a crossroads in his personal life. The divorce with Marissa, though bitter and painful, had forced him to confront the true nature of his identity and what he truly valued. Through therapy and the support of trusted colleagues, he began to heal the emotional wounds that had festered during those dark months. His nights, once filled with restless anger, slowly gave way to quiet moments of introspection and acceptance. Celestial events often have a way of illuminating new paths, and for Derek, that path came unexpectedly in the form of Olivia Grant, a dynamic, compassionate entrepreneur he met at an industry conference. Olivia, in her early 40s, exuded warmth and an unyielding passion for innovation. As they spent more time together, sharing ideas and dreams, Derek discovered a spark of hope that transcended the bitterness of his past. Their connection, though born of professional respect, slowly grew into a tender friendship that promised the possibility of new beginnings. With the legal and corporate battles drawing to a close, Derek emerged not as a victim of betrayal but as a phoenix rising from the ashes. The divorce was finalized with a settlement that, while painful, allowed him to preserve his hard-earned legacy and secure a future for his company. Lawson Structural Innovations rebounded spectacularly, its stock soaring as independent audits confirmed the integrity of its new designs. The revolutionary bridge, engineered with precision and a deep understanding of resilience, became a beacon of hope for communities in earthquake-prone regions. In his personal life, Derek began to embrace the possibility of healing and renewal. Olivia's steady companionship provided a counterbalance to the lingering pain of the past, and slowly, he allowed himself to dream again. Though the scars of betrayal would forever mark his heart, he resolved to build a future defined not by the wounds of yesterday but by the strength of tomorrow. At a grand awards ceremony celebrating his contributions to engineering, Derek took the stage with a calm dignity. "Today, I stand not as a broken man, but as one reborn from the trials of betrayal and loss," he declared. His speech, resonant with both grief and triumph, was met with a standing ovation. In that moment, as he gazed out at the faces of colleagues, friends, and industry leaders, Derek knew that every hardship had led him to this point, a point where his legacy would shine brighter than ever before. Shattered Echoes, The Path to Redemption, is the story of Derek Lawson, a man who transformed heartbreak into a legacy of innovation and resilience. Though the wounds inflicted by Marissa's betrayal and the corporate espionage orchestrated by Nathan Cole cut deep, Derek's unwavering commitment to truth, hard work, and personal growth paved the way for a future built on integrity and hope. Marissa's choices, driven by a desperate search for freedom and validation, ultimately led to her public downfall and isolation. Yet even in her ruin, there was a lesson about the price of abandoning trust for fleeting liberation. Celia, caught between two worlds, emerged wiser and more determined to forge her own path, independent of the chaos that had defined her family's past. As Derek's revolutionary bridge design spanned across the horizon, a symbol of endurance and rebirth, he became an inspiration not only to his industry but to anyone who has ever faced betrayal and emerged stronger. His journey reminds us that even when trust is shattered, the human spirit can rebuild, innovate, and rise anew. Dear listeners, thank you for joining me on this epic journey through heartbreak, vengeance, and ultimately, redemption. Please share your thoughts in the comments below, and if this story moved you, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more tales of transformation and hope.